Hey Pisces, let's do your reading real quick. This is just the pre-shuffle. I just want to show you real quick because it looks, it doesn't have to apply to the reading, but I think it probably is going to because I kept going and it just kept coming out the same kind of thing. But strong flower energy, first two cards that came up. This is an communication coming. This looks like an apology, but okay, let me just say real quick, this is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. It is general, of course, as you know, cannot and will not resonate for everyone. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. And all my videos are timeless, so feel free to look through the other videos, okay? So this water can, and I mean, these look like, are feeling like signs, like maybe these are signs that speak to you or is your reading. Okay, so but we've got this Page of Pentacles. To me, it looks like possibly an apology, but for some of you, and if this doesn't apply, just discard it. For some of you, it looks like you, there's avoidance. So I don't know, is the person that owes you an apology might be avoiding you, but for some of you, I feel like you've turned your back on an apology, or maybe it's, you've given off the impression it's not going to work or it's not good enough or something, okay? And then after that came the Eight of Wands. Again, she's kind of going the other direction. So, you know, it indicates either somebody's not even willing to listen to an apology, or that's the impression they're giving, or they're just like done. What's really like, you know, every reader wants to see this in readings when there's something that's sad. This looks like you're making a decision in it. And I was digging, I was like, is this someone new? Is this, you know, but you've got two kings here. One's a King of Swords and one's a King of Pentacles. Could be someone, it could be the same person. But then what it definitely is not settling, because this is somebody who's very clear and decisive and honest, you know, able to communicate their thoughts. That sword is up. And then this is someone who's stable. We've got the Lovers, that's a decision. Often it's between two people. There's gardening again, flowers. You may be getting flowers with an apology, or maybe you turned your back to an apology and they're going to have to try harder. But there's something that went from being kind of not so great, looks like that's ending, and something major, big, wonderful coming. And I just can't tell if it's a new person or if it's the same person coming back. But definitely an an upgrade. See this World card? Do I want this? If I don't settle, this is saying like, do not settle, because your Ten of Cups is coming. It's there. But you can't jump the gun and accept, you know, door number one, when door number one is just goldfish or peanuts, okay? I mean, pretty much a reading all on its own so far. How about that? So the Lovers, it's Gemini energy. The World, Sagittarius, super strong, super strong. If somebody has avoided you or ghosted you, it's because of avoidance, avoiding the truth, avoiding the apology. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get started. So how are you? Pisces, I love you guys. Hope you're well. All right, what is going on for Pisces? Okay, Two of Cups. Two people who give, two people who love each other, two people who show it and show up. It's not a, God, I wonder, does he like me? This is a, it's obvious, you know, if somebody is crazy about you, they're typically showing it. Okay, fairness, balance. This is amazing. Exactly what we got in pre-shuffle. Overall energy is two. It's twos. We've got 11 there. Let me see if we've got other twos. There's tens. There's a 6. Okay, no, we don't have a real consistent 2 energy yet. Okay, so six of Wands. You know, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I do feel a return. This is somebody who sees your value, because this is in the past position. Six of Inspiration is somebody is recognition. It's being recognized. It's attention. It could be like being in the public eye. Knight of Voices. Somebody just, I think, maybe did see your value but didn't communicate it, or was inconsistent, or I don't. Four of Swords. That's, kind of like time out, stepping away. There's the rose petals again. And yeah, you got to return. Interesting. So at the bottom of the deck, somebody's thinking about the past, fond memories. Getting kind of lost in thought. Fantasy, make-believe, pretending. That's at the heart of the matter. Queen of Voices. So you have a lot of mental chatter going on, I believe. Queen of Voices, that's somebody that she's very clear in her communication. Maybe you spoke something sharp, or the Queen of Swords is somebody who doesn't put up with, she wants the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And, of course we have to keep ourselves in check and look and see what, I always hope whenever we see in tarot, when we're focused on the other person, that we always look and see how that could apply to us and lessons and wrongdoings also. But the Queen of Swords is somebody who's sharp and assertive. She's very deliberate with her words, and she doesn't put up with partial truths or twisted truths. So maybe you owe the apology. I just don't feel, wow, lots of sixes. How about that? Nor roses. This is giving, somebody that gives. It's an abundant Six of Materials. So that's Six of Pentacles. Five of Materials. Five of Pentacles. Typically that's abandonment, being left out in the cold. So you definitely, again, we're back to communication. So we definitely have communication coming. This might be indicating you have somebody coming in, but I feel like we're getting some sort of like how to handle it information here. Knowing your value, not settling. Interesting. Somebody in the past did see your value, though. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Queen of Wands. And then Eight of Inspiration again. This could be that, maybe you both learned a lesson, and maybe that's what needs to be communicated. Maybe there's something not just on the person, there's something on you too that's needing to propel or elevate. So this Five of Materials is, let's see, tell me about the Five of Materials, Pisces. I might have to do, I'm going to ask some really specific questions here in a second. Yeah, see, I think there was a realization on your part too about Pisces. There's a Five of Materials here that's, feeling left out in the cold and abandoned, and you've got a Tower here. Somehow this person probably, you may have attached some abandonment from this person onto a childhood wound or something. And maybe that was the realization. Maybe the realization is this person wasn't really quite as special as you made them to be in your mind, or quite as special as what was really special about it was the love you have, or the love you wanted to show. But there's some sort of realization here. And I do think it has something to do with the communication. There's the Wheel, a 10, the Wheel of Fortune. There's a karmic lesson here. Big time for you too, not just them. So let's take a little bit deeper look at them. Not moving forward. Not showing enough passion. Interesting. Where did I get that? Okay, tell me Pisces current energy, please. Yeah, I think that Pisces, here's what I think. You guys, some of you are going to get mad at me. Some of you, and it's hard on the tarot reader because you got to take this how it resonates, but there's an element of walking away. But not. So maybe it's indecision. Maybe it's being clear with what you want. Maybe you need to write it down. That really helps bring clarity for me when I write it down, because I have to make it has to make sense. And when you actually write it down in your mind, it's all jumbled. But this is like being done but not being done. And that's kind of keeping an element of being unstable. So we're going to have to get some oracles here. But that moth is, you know, it's a death. It's an ending. Yeah, okay, so it is walking away from something difficult. And it causes a transformation. And maybe that's what you had to do for this person to see your value. It's very conflicting because, see, there's a lot of communication here. And this strength card keeps kind of grabbing my attention. But this page of voices is somebody's I know, maybe you walked away. Oh, okay. Here's what I think for some of you happened. It's almost like you've walked away and you said your piece, or you somebody ended it, and there's a pretense about being okay with it, when really there's not, because instead of actually talking it through, there's just watching and observing online. Tell me in the comments how that works out. Okay, so tell me this. Let's talk more about this person. I might have to pull a different deck. Patience, balance. This person is temperance, patience, balance. Are they patient? Somebody got blocked. I had that. I felt that in the very beginning. Let's do it. Oh, well, let me grab what fell. Sorry, guys. Yeah, somebody's blocked. Somebody wants to apologize, but like, I don't know why that apology is blocked. There's one of you are causing a block for the apology. Oh, maybe you both need to. I don't know yet. Oh, wow. Look where this deck is like pulling a ton of vibration. Yeah, a lot of energy. The World card, an ending, and Six of Wands. So here we have it again. The World twice and Six of Wands twice. So this is, Six of Wands is being recognized. Somebody, this doesn't really go with the rest of the, look at that, Karma and Queen of Swords. Oh my gosh, the same freaking cards. Six of Swords, leaving a difficult situation, a false mask. Somebody pretended, and truth and clarity came out. Somebody was pretending to be something they weren't. You see? Or they got knocked off their high horse. Does that make sense? High horse? That means came down to earth. Maybe you taught someone a lesson. But even if you did, Pisces, I feel like you're not over it, or because you're not clearly about being over it, or because you keep revisiting it, maybe online, keep looking at them, and something's like holding you still because of, I know it's hard, but I think, I think if you really force yourself to, okay, if you go, I'm not going to talk to him, I'm not going to talk to him, I'm not going to look, I'm not going to look, I'm not going to look, and you do that 100 times, and then that one time you go, oh, just this once, I'm going to look, then all that like work you did in the 100 times of training your brain not to work, you lose progress, right? Because it's kind of like reinforcing that if the thought comes up enough, it's kind of like, okay, let me get some advice too. Jeez, keeps coming back. See this Five of Wands bickering, the Six of Wands, success, recognition. Maybe there's too much of, and I don't know if it's you or them, but there's too much of a pretending to be somebody rather than actually being who you really are, or being pretending to be successful, or just putting on the image. There's something to do with image. And rather than actually, you know, instead of going to help with charity, it's like, and this is an extreme example, this Six of Cups won't leave us alone. Instead of, like, it's taking pictures and posting pictures of charitable work, when that's not really why you're supposed to do charitable work, right? So it's kind of like just posting an image of being something, when really you're somebody's spending more time posting the image than actually being it, and not being fully rewarded in it. That will chip at self-esteem and feeling of purpose. So, okay, I'm going to fill out this Six of Cups. Why do we keep getting the Six of Cups? Six of Cups is a return. With the Eight of Swords. Something you can't see. I mean, you've got an unexpected return. Failure to look at the real, the truth, the good things, the good times. Yeah, there's like I think an element of negative. There it is again. Somebody's going to break some negative habits, and there's the Death. Whoops. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like there really possibly is the death of a loved one, and I feel like it might be a masculine. These aren't gender specific, but I keep getting King of Pentacles. Is why I say that. So it could be a female, but it's somebody looked up to. This is a confusing reading. I'm sorry. You definitely have a return. You're definitely leaving a difficult situation. Definitely getting out of a difficult situation. And you definitely have options. Maybe it's a need to see the King of Pentacles. There's an owl. Maybe there's a need to it has a lot to do with decisions and choosing the right person, or not settling. But what was that? Five of Cups. Focus. There. You know what it is? There's a lot of just really hardcore negative, really dwelling on the past, and or looking at the cup half full and negativity. So if that you find yourself doing that, and you're kind of unable to get out of it, just know that that's kind of our mental tendency. It's not just a willpower thing. A really good way to kind of shift that is to replace the bad habit with something else. Maybe try a new routine or something. But I gotta tell you guys, something I did. I mean, I can't seem to get away from this King of Pentacles. Or no, there's a Knight of Pentacles. But this is all about, instead of focusing on something or someone that isn't valuing you or isn't bringing you value, there's a strong need to, and it may not happen overnight, but it may take small adjustments to working on a new outlook, looking for new things, knowing your worth. Something I did that worked, that helped, was I put a childhood photo on my mirror, and that way every time, and I make myself look at it, and every time I look at it, I see this little girl that really is still me. She's still inside me, and it's like, I imagine her, kind of looking at me like, would you abandon me? It's kind of a reminder of who you're supposed to be taking care of and not abandon, and who you're self-talking to, This is all about manifesting. We're in a powerful time for manifesting, but you're going to have to make a decision to choose things and people that are good for you, positive for you. I'm going to give you guys a lesson. I mean, you have a return. if this is the same, if this is the person that you're going to be with, you're going to have to, I think you're going to have to really set the tone and say, you know, hey, what are we going to do different this time? Hesitate before speaking. Wow, because we got a lot of that Queen of Swords and vibrational. I mean, we got a lot of conflict with what's said. So look at this. Hesitate before speaking. Is the next thing you're about to say helpful? Will it lower or raise your vibration? I freaking love that. So this just sums up what we were saying. So this could also be negative self-talk. So you guys take a screenshot, please. Hesitate before speaking. Is the next thing you're about to say helpful? Will it lower or raise your vibration? Imagine you're saying it to your inner child, maybe to the other person's inner child. I mean, they've got their their hurts and experiences also. That's pretty powerful. Let's get an archetype. Let's get a soul journey. Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. I kind of feel like I need to read that one. I just feel like there's a back and forthness here. And it might be because somebody keeps, maybe that's them watching you, but somebody keeps watching, or, you know, it's kind of watching someone online, and it's, I don't think it's having a positive effect. Your soul is spirit manifest in this physical dimension. Even though you may feel limited by the constraints of your body, your connection to the infinite wisdom of the universe is always available to you in the form of intuition. You're never alone when making any decision. Spirit only wants what's best for you, and by listening to your inner voice, you will always be guided to the proper outcome. That could be what this is also. I really feel like there's a lot of negative self-talk here. So try that baby photo, or that little, childhood photo. Spirit only wants what's best for you. By listening to your inner voice, you will always be guided to the proper outcome. All you have to do is ask. The expectation of others is only an illusion. You were not born to listen to fear. You were taught to listen. You're not born to listen to fear. You were taught to listen to it. So basically that means it's learned. The whole fear and this negative self-talk and stuff, that's all stuff that has been learned. That's not how you were born. That's not how you're supposed to be. So visualize any decision in your life as a fork in the road. How does your body react when you imagine your travels down each path? At first glance, one may look easier to traverse, but the destination will cause anxiety and a heavy heart. Another path may be more difficult to walk, but the destination will feel light and calm. When you silence your mind and listen to your intuition, the signposts will always be obvious. Okay, so that's that whole path thing. Wow, that really, pulled it all together, didn't it? That ending just summed up the whole reading. But so we have this perfect path, right? So God lays out this perfect path for us, but because we have outside influences and we're not in perfect alignment all the time, we stray. But along that perfect path, there are blessings. And so say these are the blessings along the road, or there's obstacles also. Here, we'll use a feather. This beautiful blue jay feather. Okay. Ta-da. This is a feather. So here's a blessing. There's a blessing, right? So we pick that up. Here's an obstacle. So hopefully we don't get stuck too long at this obstacle. We go around it, and hopefully we don't keep going off track. We get back on our path, right? We pick up more blessings along the way. If we stay off our path, we might actually miss out on a blessing, right? We might actually miss out and come back here. But there will always be more blessings. There will always be more blessings. You always get back on track. It's not even really a mistake unless you just stay stuck, So this is saying to ask for guidance. It's saying, I think also watch your negative self-talk. And don't take the easy path. Remember with that obstacle, this path might be easier, might look easier because there's more obstacles on this path, but this path is going to take you too far off your course. So this is basically saying, at first glance, one path may look easier, which might be sitting and being sad, or it might be looking at somebody's social media, or it might be eating the donut. That path might be, easier. This is stuff we all do. So it might be easier at first glance, but it's harder in the long run. So it says, the destination will cause anxiety and a heavy heart, whereas another path may be more difficult, but the destination will feel light and calm. When you silence your mind and listen to your intuition, the signposts will be obvious. Okay, Pisces, pause, hesitate before speaking. So this could apply to self-talk. This might be about you talking to yourself. Okay, so whatever you're about to say, will it lower or raise your vibration? I love you guys. Let me know in the comments. I'm curious, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.